Hello, hello, everyone. Just give me a second, just sharing the event. While we're waiting, tell me where you're from, where you're tuning in from, what you do. All right, so I think we're all good. So if you could, love it. Wollongong, New South Wales, Brisbane, amazing. Hello, Vermont, USA. Perth, WA, happy Sunday or Saturday, depending where you're from. Gold Coast, Melbourne, love it. Fellow Melburnian, love it, love it, love it. I'm a little bit nasally, just getting over a bit of a cold, so you have to excuse me for that, but welcome. So good to have you here. I am on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. So hopefully wherever you're finding me, you can hear me okay, you can see me okay. Gold Coast, Brisbane, thanks Megan, love it. Tamworth. Awesome. Just need to regulate my nervous system for a second. Okay, so for those of you that have tuned in and you don't know who I am Melissa Hiemann. I am the co-founder of the Center for Healing. We were established in 2016. We were originally an outpatient alternative rehab and mental health center in Melbourne, and then we decided to take our certifications and transformative methods to the world, and they are now internationally accredited with several international accredited organizations. And here we are. So I'm the author of The Natural High, Overcoming Instant Gratification and Finding Inner Peace. I'm the creator of Root Cause Therapy, of the Self-Healing Protocols, and in this class, I will be talking about trauma-informed manifestation coaching. And obviously, I'm going to talk about somatic manifesting and exactly what that is and why we need to know it and how it helps, right? And so I'm going to paint a picture for you. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story. So get your drink. Yeah, I've got my Center for Healing mug here. Get your drink, sit down, and just you don't have to take notes, just kind of soak in with the story. Okay. So a young girl growing up, parents, totally different age groups, not getting along. Parents divorce. The little girl's 2.5. Breaks her little heart. Yeah. And then has to move house where her home was. Has to live in 2 different houses every week, every weekend. And the parents then get into relationships that are also toxic and even more so toxic. And there are addictions, there is mental health issues, and apparent narcissism, we'll say. So the little girl is shuffled from house to house, but in each house it doesn't feel like hers, and in each house it just doesn't feel safe. Each step parent knows they're not number one and is passive aggressive with the little girl, doesn't like the little girl. The little girl hasn't done anything. She might feel like it was her fault that her parents couldn't stay together. She might feel like there was something wrong with her, and that's why she's getting shuffled from house to house. She doesn't understand why step-parents don't like her. She has no idea. No one talks to her about it. She feels so alone, and then she goes to school And she has no friends at school. She tries to make friends, but they end up being toxic. And just like she's seen at home, there ends up being bullying. But no one there for emotional support. She just gets in trouble. When she's all fidgety in class and she can't listen and she's labeled as dumb, there's not much extra help. That's just how you are. And you go home after being alone or bullied all day, and everyone at home is just disconnected from their own emotions, so they don't have space for yours. And then houses are bought and sold. Domestic violence starts to happen. More children are brought into the picture. Now she's the older child trying to protect and parent the parents and trying to protect the children and look after the children, while trying to look like she's doing really well, because our society tells us that we're meant to be really happy and you need to perceive that you're doing well on the outside to make everyone around you feel more comfortable. So she does everything that she can to look good on the outside, but she's crumbling on the inside, ends up drinking, taking drugs, etc. She reads The Secret and she goes, I just have to think more positively and I can control my life finally. I can attract who I want to attract. I can have deep and meaningful relationships. I can manifest money to help my parents. I can finally get the approval of my dad that I'm good enough and I'm not dumb. And so take on The Secret and somehow buys a house at 21. Relationships start to crumble again, getting into narcissistic relationships herself, fighting with her friends in this house. Guess what happens? Sabotages everything. Loses the house, loses the friendships, breaks up with another partner, just hops to the next one, cannot be alone, too anxious, can't sit with the feelings, try to be positive. And it just happens over and over again. Fast forward 10 to 12 years up of renting, finding feet again, doing all the trauma healing. Sit down in front of a coach. Hey, coach, I've got a little family now. I finally found a partner that's wonderful to me and safe. Can you help me? I feel like I want a house. I'm sick of renting. Sure. What kind of house do you want? Let's help you get the exact one. Let's help you manifest the one that you really want. Oh, yes, the visualization, going on Pinterest, going on realestate.com for those of you that are in Australia. I'm not sure if it's overseas. But the body is resistant, and it starts sending messages to the brain. The coach is supportive, but the client's body is like, I don't want to do this. This is not a good idea. This is not a good idea to look at houses. This is not a good idea to want houses. Let's look at evidence why we shouldn't buy a house. Let's look at reasons why we shouldn't. We start looking up renting versus owning a home. We start looking up all different reasons why it's, you're stuck in the system if you buy a house, etc., etc. We talk ourselves out of it. Tell the coach, no, I'm not interested in that. I want to manifest something else. The whole body has taken over and said, no, this is not a good idea, and sends the messages to the mind. So the coach is like, all right, what else do you want to manifest, and try to manifest other things to fill those gaps. Well, if you haven't guessed by now, the little girl is me, and I've literally just bought a house, and it has been quite a journey because my body was not interested. My body had so many red flags and so many associations, right? With having a house, with being in a house, with being in a family, with buying a house, with that commitment because of buying and losing houses and all the things that it meant growing up. Now the coach didn't recognize that and just goes, all right, what's your next goal? That's not my thing, you know? And then I had to go get I got root cause therapy and so much other somatic therapy, and embedding the manifestation into it, that as soon as I hit those core traumas from childhood, boom. I wasn't meant to buy a house until the end of this year. We're still renting. It's just happened like that, like it's just happened. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. And that's why I brought them together, because that young 21-year-old that was able to manifest a sports car, a partner with a Lamborghini, a house and everything, but lost it all and sabotage every time I would manifest and sabotage. She didn't know about trauma healing. So I went in the whole journey of doing, I chucked The Secret in the rubbish, right? I was like, if you're positive all the time, you're not willing to have hard conversations, you're not willing to look at anything, everything's burning around you, you're trying to be positive, it's not real. Threw it in the rubbish. But when I started bringing it together, it absolutely blew my mind. And that's why I took 6 months to make this course. And that's why I wanted to share this. So that's why it is called trauma-informed manifestation coaching. But I wanted to talk to you about the term somatic manifesting. Because when you think about manifesting, a lot of us just think about positive thinking, positive beliefs, vision board, and getting into the vibe, that's just one piece. That's just one piece, because somatic, the soma, which is Greek for the body, is so much more involved than you can ever imagine. And it will override the positive beliefs. And like what happened to me, you may manifest things, but you may not be able to hold on to it. So if you are a coach or a practitioner and you're helping someone, coaches help people with goals, right? Coaches help people realize, and you motivate them, to achieve goals. This is a huge piece that's missing in the coaching industry, is a somatic part. And we've been doing this for a while, but all of a sudden it's, getting quite big. But the somatic part is such a huge piece, because it's what creates our actual behaviors and our decision making. And so if you are just manifesting through your mind, that is like 20% of your power, right? There's a hypothesis called the somatic marker hypothesis, right? And you can look this up. This is scientific. And it's basically said emotional processes guide our behaviors and mainly our decision making. And where are our emotions? Our emotions are in our body, they're in our soma. Okay. So if you're just coaching someone on one level, if you're just coaching someone on the talk level, then it's only this much that you're helping them. Now with the manifestation coach, just in and of itself, you help someone get clarity and to get clear on what they want. But again, if you're not trauma informed, if you're not somatically aware, they could be creating goals from their trauma rather from what is soul aligned for them. Okay. So when we're helping someone to achieve their goal, how do we know that the goal is actually not coming from their ego, and when they achieve it, it's not going to be fulfilling or in the highest good of all? How do we know? Right? And so being able to recognize and help someone to release what's coming up for them and in the way is going to be next level for you as a practitioner. So that process that we take people through, that we teach in the trauma-informed manifestation coaching, which by the way, it is 50% off until tomorrow midnight. So I'll just copy that in if anyone is interested. I'm not sure when it's going to be for sale again, like with that price. And it's It's an amazing price. It's only like 1,600 AUD, and you literally get um, monthly group coaching calls for life, or as for as long as I live anyway. um, Group coaching with me and mentoring, and so I'm there with you every month for you to check in, for you to work through your stuff, and I take you through the methods that and the tools that we teach in the course. I take you that through in a group coaching container. So you're receiving the method, which is so important, which is one of the things at the Center for Healing. We really believe that you need to embody and experience the methods for yourself to be able to have the capacity to facilitate in a really empathetic way to help others. Um, we've got Heidi saying here, and you guys can go ahead and ask questions if you want. She said, I apply manifesting to every session. Yeah. Yeah, it depends how we do it. Maybe they have to experience the goal from the aspect of the ego. We've been experiencing goals from the aspect of our egos for long enough, right? We are manifesting what we don't want, and that what is not aligned for most of our lives. I know most of us have, right? And so there's a point at which we have to go, do we have to stop like recreating and reenacting the trauma? Or can we go in and actually heal it so we don't recreate it anymore? And so what we do as manifestation coaches, we're not going in and getting people to re-experience their trauma. We're not therapists. We're not holding space to that degree. But what we are doing is we're connecting people with their actual soul aligned vision. And then we're working through the somatic feelings in their bodies. We're helping them shift those somatic feelings that are not in alignment with that goal. So I'll give you another example. So when we transitioned our business from when we had the physical healing center with the team to then moving it to an online training company, for some reason, we made and spent the exact same amount of money. So put in the comments, you guys, that have you implemented a new strategy in your business, in your healing and coaching business? And have you seen a new strategy, tried a new strategy, and not gotten the results that you thought that you would get, and still you're still getting the same results and responses in your business, or you're still making the same amount even though you've tried a new software, or you've tried a new social media strategy, or you've tried something different, you tried to put out a new program, and then part of you that you're not even aware of could be sabotaging it. And so what happened with us was I like became really aware of that. I was like, how can we completely change our business model, even though we're doing the exact same methodologies? But how can we change all that? And why is it the same? Like, how is this happening? It wasn't logical, right? And so when I started to do the somatic work, when I started to actually shift in my body where there was red flags, where my body was like, this is not safe because it's reminding me of something that's happened in the past. When I actually shifted that, within 2 weeks, we nearly doubled our revenue and our profits went up, and it keeps going up year on year. And it was literally just one trauma-informed manifestation coaching session and shifting that sensation. So when you do somatic work, for those of you that don't know, there's different ways that you can do it. There's pendulation, there's turning emotions up and down. We can do breath work, right, to shift the energy. So I've got a really awesome bonus for you guys. I'm actually going to take you through just a little mini process that we teach in the course. And I just wanted to give you guys a taste. I thought it would be something that you guys can at least get something out of the session with me today, out of this class. And so it could be that we need to move our body around, right? And so normally with coaching, we're like reframing, we're telling people like, our experiences, we're kind of mentoring and doing things like that. But with somatic work, it's like so much different. The body has a different language, right? And so it's like really important to know as a practitioner and be trauma informed as a coach that a lot of what's going on for your client is happening in the body. This is going to increase your empathy, and this is going to increase the results that your clients are going to get, right? Combining empowering your clients and coaching them with the trauma informed somatic aspect is huge, okay? And so bringing someone into feeling safe to achieve the goal that is aligned for them is key, okay? Because what happened was, and why we weren't doing, like, why we hadn't changed our income even though we changed everything, was that my body didn't feel safe, so I would unconsciously sabotage. So there'll be an opportunity that came in, and I would talk myself out of it. The body will start giving excuses up to my mind because it's trying to protect me from past hurt that it's experienced, from past trauma. It was it showed up in me not putting myself out there. It showed up in me not I'm getting intuitive hits on what to do next from my soul, and me not taking action on that. It showed up in mishandling money because I was trying to keep, even though the levels weren't that good, it was making me feel safe. So for those of you that are like, yeah, I want to make more, but for some reason you keep hitting a glass ceiling, or I want more clients, but you keep hitting a glass ceiling, I bet you it's your nervous system that is like, there's a reason why we don't want to have more. So it could be, if I have more, I will get burnt out. If I have more, I will insert what you think you might lose, or insert what your body think it might re-experience in terms of emotional pain. Okay. So I want you guys, if any of you actually want to get involved in experiencing like a little taster, we're going to do what's called the clarity process. So now you can grab your pen and paper if you'd like to. And at the top of your piece of paper, or if you're on your notes on your phone, whatever, I want you to write a goal that you have at the moment. And I don't have time to take you through the whole process to find out if it's soul aligned. That's fine. Most of you are healers, coaches to some degree. And I'm sure that a lot of you've intuitively got your goals. So I kind of trust that. So at the top of the paper, I want you to write down what's your goal for the next 3 months. Yeah. If I earn more, so I'm just reading the comments. If I earn more, I might lose it all. Yeah. Like, for example, someone might be like, if I earn more, um, I'll lose my friends and family because they'll start to hate me, and I will and then your nervous system is like, well, if I'm not in the village, like our ancient part of our body, if I'm rejected from the village, I'm not going to survive. We get a literal like survival protection response, and it won't let us. It could be that, when we were at school, for example, we were the one with the flashiest bike, and then we got bullied for it, for example. Or it could just be that deep need to feel accepted in the village. And so we're going to keep the same average of the people that are around us to make sure they feel comfortable, rather than us living a expansive and fulfilling life where we actually get to look after ourselves properly and the ones around us. And so with that goal at the top of the sheet, and now I want you to write down any words that come up, any excuses that come up, any reasons that come up. Some of you might just want to write just 50 single words, whatever pops into your mind. We're just trusting what is coming through. Some people might write impossible, or unsafe, or you might write I'd have to work too hard, or I don't know enough, right? I want you to write down all the reasons why you haven't manifested this yet. What comes through? So keep writing and writing. And something that we like to do, we kind of in a container, in a safe space, is like, as a coach, we're there to support our clients, and we're there to encourage them and be their cheerleaders, you know? And so if we just say someone, I know that you've got this, I know that you can achieve that in this period of time, you know, I know you can call in that person, or I know you can call in that level of business that you want, or I know that you can call in that money, or I know you can call in that house or that child, or whatever you're trying to manifest. I know that you've got this, and you know you are actually good enough. See if that brings up any more excuses from your body why it hasn't manifested yet. Any reasons why, and just keep writing that down. And as you do that, if it feels safe to do so, and for those of you, if it's triggering at all, overwhelming, please just like don't do this process. Step it aside, do your resourcing, do some grounding. But for those of you that feel safe to, I want you to tune into your body right now. I want you to feel into your soma, into your body. And I want you to notice where there's any tension or tightness around this goal. As you look at these words, is there any tension or tightness? Scanning your body. Okay, good. And noticing where that is in your body, I just want you to just breathe into that space a little bit. Imagine that tightness is a ball of energy, and you're just literally moving your breath into that space. And what happens is sometimes that ball of resistance, it might start to move around your body a little bit. It might start to run away from your breath a little bit. And we just let that part of you know that that's fine. And we're just gonna, it's allowed to be there. And we know that it's trying to protect us. And we understand that. And thank you. But we're gonna breathe into that space. Keep breathing. And you're pushing that breath into that space. Breathing out, imagine that breath going into that area wherever you're feeling it, and it's starting to dissipate. That resistance is starting to melt away. Keep writing the words if you need to, or just looking at the words is fine. If part of you is like, this resistance needs to say something to me before it's like happy to go, that's fine. Just keep breathing into the space. Now, for some of you, you might need to breathe a little bit faster, or you might need to breathe a little bit slower. And this is where it is really client-led, where we're like, do what you feel like you need to do. So for me, sometimes I feel like we need some fire breath at this one. We need to... Now, for those of you that are trauma-informed polyvagal theory aware, when we go into a shutdown state, a freeze state, a dorsal shutdown, our prefrontal cortex shuts down. We feel cold, we feel depressed, we freeze, we don't feel like doing anything. We need to bring the energy up. So moving the breath faster, getting it faster moving, it'll start to upregulate your nervous system. Okay, start to move it a bit quicker. If some anger comes up, some flightiness, that's fine. And then we can slow down the breath. But we're moving that energy, okay? Moving that through our body. I want you guys to type in the chat box. So those of you that it's starting to shift, or it's shifted, you're looking at the paper, it's not resonating anymore, or if you need a little bit more time, if you're still breathing through it, keep going. You might need to move your body. This is what it's about, stretch, move. Whatever your body feels it needs to do, you need to trust that the body can heal itself. Okay, so if your body feels like this stress and this resistance, I need to roll my neck. I need to move my arms. I need to rub my hands. I need to stretch out. Whatever you need to do, that's the soma, that's the body. We're getting it involved, right? We're not just sitting here like this, right? We're moving it. Whatever you feel you need to do, breathing, moving, right? We're getting that energy moving. We're getting it out, okay? We're letting it know that we're not 5 years old and our best friends betrayed us anymore, and people are going to say bad things about us if we come on a live and we come online or do what we need to do to manifest our goal, And so I just want to get a feel for how everyone is going. So if you can type me a little message and let me know. Hopefully I'm getting most of your comments coming through my streaming system. All right, good. So for those of you that you feel like you've moved through it, I want you to either turn the paper over or get a fresh piece of paper, and I want you to write the goal again. Okay, I want you to write it. Still going, Kurt. Take your time, Kurt. Do what you need to do. You poor thing. So that's it. Moving through it. For those of you that have a safety resource, you can bring that in, a sensation of feeling, looking at something around the room. Yeah, if you're feeling flat, breathe a bit faster, get that energy moving. If you need to jump up and down a little bit, get the energy moving. Looking around the room, seeing something that feels safe. Yeah, it's so amazing when we realize that we really want something consciously. Of course we want it. And it's like so frustrating when we sabotage it, or like for some reason it's not coming in, you know. And really it's just our body trying to protect us. It's our nervous system trying to protect us, and it's so subtle and we don't realize. Yeah, Tanika, it's hard for you to drop into your body. Yeah, so, for some of you, it's not like a common thing that you drop into your body and your feelings, because it's like this is not a safe place to be, because when we were younger, we were told to either shut up. So, there was no one to hold space for our emotions. We bottled it all up. And so we get to the age that we are now, and we're like, got so much bottled up stuff that to go into our body is so uncomfortable. So, Tanika, please don't force yourself to go into your body. It's totally fine. Just doing some light breathing, just following your breath, that is totally fine for now. There's absolutely no reason for you to force it or anything like that. You're doing great. When do you feel like it's family related, being told by your family you're not capable? And that's just not true. They're just projecting their stuff. It's not true. I grew up thinking I was completely dumb. Like, honestly, but I was actually disassociated from all the stress I was living in, and I had to leave my body because it wasn't safe to be in the present moment. I had to escape into La La Land, and then that way I couldn't focus at school. My memory was shocking. I couldn't take in information properly because I was so disassociated. But I was disassociated. I wasn't dumb. We're all actually really intelligent. And once I was able to shift that and heal that, like, multi-million-dollar company, written a book, created accredited tradings. Like, I'm clearly not dumb. It's not true, right? We know that. That's okay. Come back and watch the replay from the start. You'll be able to. I think I'm just going to stream this tomorrow morning, because we've got people that, from the States and Canada that are asleep at this time. So you can either watch this replay or I'll restream it tomorrow morning. Yeah, so for those of you that are okay to move the next bit, I want you to write on the next piece of paper the goal again. And now I want you to write the words that come through and see if there's any differences now that you've shifted some of that resistance. If this is very triggering for any of you, please connect with a practitioner. I can send you our practitioner directory. I recommend working with someone one-on-one. Let me just find that. And for any of you that have any questions about the course, about the sale that's finishing tomorrow, about any of our courses, just DM us or send us an email, or just comment, and I'll come back and I'll help you out with any questions that you have later. All right, cool. So for those of you that have moved on to the new sheet, let me know if it's changed. Let me know if the words or the statements or what's coming through has changed as you start to write. Excuse me. I love being a mum, but I do not love all of the things that you catch from children, young children. This is another manifestation story. Like, the other week I was like, other mums are like, "Oh, the kids are throwing up, blah blah blah," and I thought, "Oh, Tommy, like he hasn't thrown up since he was a newborn. Like that's literally 3 days later after I had that thought, gastro." Yeah, so much has changed. Love it. So worth, strength, courage that I have. Yes. Like how sneaky is this? So I had a client recently where I did an Akashic Records business reading for them. And by the way, you can learn how to do that. You can learn how to read Akashic Records for yourself and your business in the certification if you're interested. But yeah, I did a reading for them and I'm like, this is what you need to change, blah, 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 blah. And then they were like, oh my God, this is like a lot. I'm feeling like a little bit overwhelmed. And then they went and got another coach and got a whole new set of strategies, right? And I came back to them and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I just gave you like a very clear strategy of what you need to do from your Akashic records. And then like you went and got another and I'm fine with that they went and got another very complex, by the way, like strategies and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just looking at these two and I'm like, this one you're going to be making 40,000 profit a month. This new strategy, you're going to be making 20,000 profit a month. I'm like, why are you going for the very complex one where you're actually going to make less rather than the easy one where you're going to make more? Well, we did some of the trauma-informed manifestation coaching. So not this process, an even stronger process, which is called alignment numbers. And when we did that process, it became very clear straight away that they didn't feel safe to make more profit. And when we started to work with him somatically, when I started to help him to process why he didn't feel safe, what came up was that he actually they actually didn't know what to do with the extra money. And I think because they had some addiction issues in the past, they didn't fully trust themselves with extra money. So consciously, like, of course I want extra money, but it's weird with all the behaviors that we do to try to keep that glass ceiling on to keep us safe because our body thinks it's keeping us safe, where it's like, really, we can look after ourselves much better if we allow ourselves to create some money. You do a Akashic record reading. It's fascinating. I thought the reading didn't make sense at all and it was perfect. Yes, exactly. I feel like that with readings too, where I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to tell the client, like, does this make any sense? And they're like, I was thinking that. That's exactly right. Oh my God, like, that's so much easier. It's so amazing once you learn how to read the Akashic records. That's just another, like, that's just a bonus. Like, that's not even the main training. And that's incredible in itself. So that's awesome. Does anyone else is anyone else still stuck or they do want to share like what's come through? How are you feeling about your goal now? Has it shifted for you? I'd love to know. And the cool thing is that these methods that you learn, these tools that you learn in the trauma informed course are really you can do it in group coaching settings as well. So it's not just one-on-one. For those of you that want to scale, you can do what I did today and take any of the processes and do it with a larger amount of people and make more impact. But of course, you're in our community, you get to practice with other people, you get to grow your coaching business, you get to manifest what you want to manifest. And for those of you that are watching and like, what have you manifested, Mel, other than a cold from your son? I do need to work on that. But so I manifested my dream car. Manifested, we make average 200K a month through our business. I just manifested a house. So those of you that didn't, a dream house, and it was like actually 11 months earlier than 10 months earlier that we were even meant to be looking at houses or thinking about it, just because I did this process. And all of a sudden we're like looking at places. All of a sudden we walk into a house or like we love it. And all of a sudden, like, no other offers came in and everything was so aligned and perfect and easy. And it was just like, it's just manifested so easily. And I haven't even shared it with, I'm sharing it here the first time. I haven't even shared it with everyone in the training. So I will in the next call, or I might do a live in between. If you enroll, I'll break down, exactly what I did to do that. Cause it was there was a bit more to it because the manifestation side. So, there's a bit more to when you're going to manifest what you want, even letting good things in, your body can have red flags like this is not safe to let good things in. you know so for example, if you've grown up in an environment and your nervous system and your conditioning in your body is like, well, stressful relationships are love and talking to each other like that is love, and it has to feel very emotional like a roller coaster. When you later manifest a relationship that is like safe and say like they're lovely to you, a part of you is like, this feels boring and it doesn't feel right, right? And so there's a whole process there that you need to go through to regulate your nervous system to be able to receive good. This is good. And the thing with that is that there's going to be trauma triggers. So I've still like my partner is like the sweetest. For those of you that don't know, he's the other co-founder of the Center for Healing, creator of embodied processing. Which is a polyvagal trauma informed certification. But, I've done things where a partner in the past or a step parent in the past would react in a certain way. And I flinch. And my partner's like, what are you doing? Like, and I'm like, oh my God, sorry. My body has literally time traveled with this trigger that you're reacting like they reacted, even though they're not reacting like that. Who's had that? Like, you get into a safer workplace, a safer relationship, you manifest these good things, and we either sabotage it or we can't receive it, right? This is huge. And this is why being trauma informed when it comes to manifesting is 100% required. You know, if you've just done a life coaching thing, if you've just done manifestation coaching or whatever, or you're just mentoring or something and you're not trauma informed. And on the other side, if you're just doing therapy and you're just doing trauma healing and things like that, and you're not helping someone create their future, like I did trauma healing for so many years. I'm like, I'm doing so much trauma healing and I feel better, but why isn't my life getting better? And the whole piece that was missing was like, yeah, I've cleared the past, but like now let's create an awesome future. And that's where the trauma informed manifestation comes in, where we're like, let's manifest a future, but realize your clients are human. When you're coaching someone, we're not talking to them like a robot and they can just do something. They've had painful past experiences. Every single person, I don't care like who you are, everyone has had a painful past experience. That's trauma that can show up. And yes, there's big T's, little T's. I totally understand that. But we need to like be aware the person in front of us probably has inner children that have been hurt, things that they've gone through, where if you're like, go do take this action, like of course they like want to listen to you and take the action. But if their body doesn't feel safe to, if their body feels resistant to, they're not going to do it. And then they're going to feel ashamed and feel like they disappointed you. But if you're trauma informed, you're going to have that empathy, that knowledge, and the tools that you need to actually help them shift through it so they can actually take action and achieve their goals. Right? So it's a complete no-brainer that they come together. Wendy, the Akashic Records reading. Yeah, the Akashic Records reading can tell you if there's any personal issues, relational issues, environmental issues, conditioning issues. It looks at all of those things and can tell you what needs to shift and how to heal them. Yeah. For like, yeah, if there's any sabotages, like, so for example, I had a client and it said, oh, you need to like, and it seems very like a small thing or an insignificant thing, but it was like, in order to manifest your desire, like you need to update the furniture in your office. And they were like, oh my God, I've been thinking that for ages. And it's just like, this is what the records are saying. Like, and I haven't seen their office. Like I had no personal like judgment or anything like that. And it was literally just about them taking care of themselves and their business and that energy, right? Of like shifting that. Another person, it was like, you need to move out of your parents' house to receive this goal. Whatever's happening there is like draining your energy, right? So just things like that, where there needs to be a few shifts that occur that can create a massive change and just can allow the manifestation to come in. Or another way that we like to think about it is it allows to shift our energy to be the person to receive the goal. And that's like one thing that I did to manifest the house was I was like really, and this was only a week up until like it just happened. I decided I was like, how am I going to treat my house right now like I would if I had a multi-million-dollar house, if I had my own house? How would I keep my wardrobe? How, like, what linen? I went and bought just like some better quality towels, and I was pretending I was in my new home. Who would be the person that owned a multi-million-dollar house, right? What if the person doesn't have the resources to make the changes? The Akashic Records knows what resources they have and don't have, and what would be safe for them to do or not. So it's almost like it scans everything, because the Akashic Records is the records of everything. It knows the person sometimes better than themselves. That's the beauty of it. It's actually the whole well, it depends on your intention, but if your intention is to make your life easier, then it'll change whatever, make the life easier, not harder. Hi, Nick. So there's a link again for that person. Sorry, it doesn't tell me your name, but there's a payment plan. Yes, there's definitely a payment plan. Good morning, Claire. We're just coming to the end of it. So if you want to jump on the replay, I took everyone through a really amazing process of somatic manifesting. Hi, hello. So for those of you that are just jumping on, we're just kind of getting to the end of the call. I'd love to answer any questions. Does anyone have any questions that they would like me to answer, either about what we went through today, about manifesting, about trauma, or about the certification? And just a reminder that the 50% off is finishing tomorrow midnight, and that includes lifetime access to the training. It's accredited by IICT. So when you actually become qualified, you'll be accredited with International Institute for Complementary Therapists, IICT, and we just got approved. And I forgot to tell everyone, yesterday we just got approved for the IAOTH, which is the International Association of Therapists. So this is a double accredited course. So you'll be an accredited coach. Okay. And so I need to tell all the students as well. It literally just happened yesterday. We got all of our courses got another accreditation. You joined, yay. So you get lifetime access to the very comprehensive course. You get the bonus of learning to read the records. And look, that's optional. Some people are like, I want to learn all the course. I want to learn the science behind manifestation. I want to become trauma informed. I want to understand these amazing tools, but I'm not really into the Akashic Records. That's fine. You take and leave what you want when you start practicing yourself. The assessment is just answering under each module what you've learnt. I ask a few questions, and you can ask questions under every single lesson. So it's like an online course where you're like all on your own. You can literally ask questions under every single lesson, and I will answer personally. And then you get lifetime access to the group coaching. So what I just took most of you through today, we do different things like that every single month. So how long does the course take to complete? People normally take a couple of months, maybe 2-3 months. And you also get with our marketing and sales teacher, she does the monthly calls as well, where you get to learn about how to, from a soul aligned place, market, sell, set up your website, your SEO, all of that, like human, practical, tangible stuff to get your business out there. That's included every month as well. What's the difference between the coaching certification and root cause therapy certification? So the root cause therapy is therapy. So therapy is looking back, right? Therapy is doing regression and helping people somatically release and heal their traumas from the past, solely that, okay? The coaching is like, how do we actually get clarity on your goal and then move you towards it and help you to take action towards that, okay? And so that's some like people end up doing both. I've signed up for EP on both levels, definitely doing manifestation course. I wish I could do the whole in one go. I know everyone ends up doing all of the courses, honestly, what you do. So take your time, we'll be around. Don't stress, there's no rush. How many sessions do you have to become certified? So you don't actually have to receive or give sessions to become certified. I check you have to do assessments within the course. Where can I find somebody who does Akashic Records reading? Yep. So in our practitioner directory, anyone that, if you type in manifestation, you'll see the people that can do the readings. But I will also, there's some people that aren't on the directory as well. So Akaville, I'll message you later and I'll send you some recommendations of who can do a reading for you. Yeah, they're really amazing. And it depends also because there's personal readings. And then there's in level 2, there's the business analysis reading. So that goes really deep with like, are your brand colors and your sales page and what you're offering and what you're charging, is it all actually aligned? So it depends which reading you want, because I train you on 2 different readings. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, so and Black Swan, I can also I've got an article, when we finish this, I'll find it. I've actually written an article on what's the differences between the 2 certifications as well, between root cause therapy and trauma-informed manifestation coaching. So I think you're on YouTube, so I'll come back and link that blog for you to have a read. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. Thank you everyone for coming. Oh my gosh, Jackie, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you got to experience that, and no worries. I so hope to see some of you guys in the community, and this replay will be available in our membership as well. So if you don't find us again on Facebook to replay it, you might want to come back and replay it, or watch it again. And also, like, please tag people that might be interested in this. If you tag people, they might then they can just watch the replay as well. For anyone that you know that you're like, oh my god, I see your potential, but they might be blocking something, and maybe they don't have the capacity or the finances to pay for somatic work right now, you can share this with them as well. And yeah, again, if any questions come up later, I will come through and answer those. It's been my absolute honor to hold space for you, for everyone. So on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the places that we've been, thank you so much for joining. It's been my absolute honor to hold space for you. And yeah, just tag them away right here, right now. And they should be able to watch it. It depends if you're watching in the group or not. But it might just ask you to invite them to the group, and that's our free Facebook group anyway. You're so welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Wendy. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. You're so welcome, or a beautiful rest of the day wherever you are in the world. And don't forget, at any time you can come through and ask any questions. Just DM us and we're here for you. And I will speak to you guys soon. See ya.